What's going on? You guys already know who it is. Your boy Bobby from Mentourme.com. I'm not going to be in my studio tonight. I'm going to shoot this live straight from my countertop. Shouts out to everybody that's been supporting the movement. Tonight we're going to talk about a great topic, people. Tonight is understanding 9 ways on saving money. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're going to be a starting entrepreneur, people, it's imperative that you understand there's a lot of different ways to save money in the industry, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're trying to figure out how to save some dollars. This is going to be a great live to really give you guys some gems on how to save money if you're an entrepreneur. BMW Experts is in the building. Shouts out to Facebook. Shouts out to IG. This live is going to give you guys a lot of knowledge on how I've saved a lot of money in the world of business, especially when you're growing. If you're an upcoming entrepreneur, you're a starter entrepreneur, you're trying to figure out how to save some dollars before you get into the world of entrepreneurship. There's going to be some great tips giving you some great guidance. Before we start, I just want to give some information on what's going on with the stock market a little bit. As you guys know, I'm a life coach. I'm a stock trader, stock investor. Investor meaning long-term, 5 years minimum. And I know a lot of you right now looking at this stock market, you're scared. Some of you probably sold your stocks already. And again, people, you got to understand inflation, quantitative easing, Russia and Ukraine. There's a lot of variables that's causing this market to do what it's doing. The stock market is down very bad. There's a lot of buying opportunities. But if you think you're going to be trading the market, I said this maybe 3 to 4 months ago, it's not going to happen. You're going to hurt yourself. Some people are still trying to trade in this liquidity market. You got to understand we're in the market right. There's not a lot of volatility. There's not a lot of liquidity going on in the market. So trying to trade this market, you can really hurt yourself. So if you're a stock trader and not a stock investor, I can't tell you what to do, but I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm investing in the market, meaning holding long term. You will be holding at least to the end of this year any stock portfolio you have. And there's a lot of factors why, as you guys know, inflation is one. As you guys can see, interest rates are very low. It needs to actually go up. Number 2, we have Russia and Ukraine issues that's causing gas prices to go to the ceiling. Also, understand Russia owns a big portion of when it comes to the commodity called, of course, corn and many other farm products. So understand those prices of products could go up also. Because a lot of you don't understand, Russia is not just known for just the fact that they own the majority of the oil in the world. Of course, oil barrel prices have gone up already. If you're in oil stocks, you should see a boost in that particular sector. But at the end of the day, be careful and cautious because, again, we don't know how long that's going to last. Now, we also understand, of course, there's a lot of other factors. The COVID has affected a lot of the economy, but now that's starting to reduce itself. But again, we also need to understand how economics play in the world of the stock market, because again, a lot of you thought that, again, you're going to always just have this volatile market like you had for the last 2-3 years. That's over and done with for this particular year. Now, a lot of people are DMing me, Bobby, how do you feel about the real estate market? It's a tough question right now. A portion of me feel, yes, there's going to be a readjustment again. But the question is, how far will it pull back? When will it pull back? What's going to cause it to pull back? Just because interest rates go naturally higher, that doesn't naturally mean that the prices are going to drop by 70%. It just doesn't work like that. But there could be a pullback for sure. Statistically, when you really look at the economy as a whole, when interest rates go up, home prices do go down because loans are not affordable. Money has become more expensive. That really readjusts and stabilizes the market. And of course, other monetary policies from federal chairmen. I want you guys to understand tonight's topic is not just about upcoming entrepreneurs. If you're in the world of business, these are 9 different ways that you should be thinking about to saving yourself some money. One of the things I can say is this: I've been in business since I'm 35, since I was 14 years old. Days started with simply selling candy and CDs and that type of little stuff. Then again, went from candy and CDs to cars, then cars to houses, the houses to buildings. Then, of course, selling businesses. So I've been in a lot of different array of businesses, from vending machines to tow truck companies to many different businesses. And I've learned a lot of things, and I'm going to share a lot of them with you. Some of them may be something that you've heard of already because you're more advanced compared to some of the audience that's going to be watching this live. But some of you, this is great information for you if you're an upcoming entrepreneur, because I get it. A lot of us, when we're starting business, the first thing that's on our mind is we just want to make money. But there's more to making money. As you guys know, today I posted a video about organizing your business. And that's, I didn't even count that as one of the ways to save money. But if your business is not structured, if your business is not organized, you will see it will be difficult for you to become an acquisition target if you want a company to buy your company out. At the end of the day, that is important to growing your company. That's also important to saving money in a company when you have an organized business. Now, I want to first talk about this. If you're starting a business, or if you're in business, one person that you definitely need, or two, one of the two that you will need is an accountant. The reason I talk about an accountant, because what I realize with a lot of entrepreneurs that sit down with me, a lot of business owners that sit down with me, they don't have a drop of a dime of understanding of how accountants work. A lot of people don't understand. The next one I'm going to talk about also too, they work hand in hand in a weird way. A tax preparer. You need a very good tax professional to do your taxes when you own a business. The reason you need also a great accountant, preferably it'll be great if the tax professional does accounting work, or he's a CPA and he does taxes also. A CPA is simply a certified public accountant. It just simply means a person that went to school, let's say 2 to 4 years, got 2 degrees, whatever the case may be, took the state exam. They're now certified as a CPA, a certified public accountant. They have the certification to state that they understand books, general ledgers, and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, people, you can simply just use a regular accountant. The reason this is important, as you start to make money in the business, you have a structured business, your sales are growing, you have your target market, you're expanding your business, you're going to realize a problem you're going to have. And we all have, especially when we're growing a profitable business. You're going to have a tax problem, meaning you owe a lot of taxes. Now, some of you don't understand, this is a good problem to have. Having a tax problem is actually a good problem to have. Now, I myself pay a lot of taxes, anywhere from, $60,000 to maybe $120,000 worth of taxes per year. Now, I want you guys to understand, in order for you to understand how this game works, you need a great accountant by your side. One, you need an accountant to understand how to do your books. Books is simply, if you're going to be doing your business taxes, usually some of you have business taxes and personal based on what type of corporation you have. It's important to understand your books need to be done. Books simply means every transaction that you ran through your business account, you need somebody to journalize these transactions and put them in different categories, in the proper categories that they go. Hypothetically, January 1st last year, you went to the gas station. That's a gas expense. January 2nd, I don't know, you went to Staples. That's office expense. January 3rd, you took out some money out of the account, owner's equity withdrawal, whatever the case may be. You need a person to journalize all these transactions to produce a form called an income statement so your tax professional could do your business taxes. Now, I want you to understand the importance of having a great tax professional is to look at that income statement. An income statement is just a document that shows how much money you made based on the expenses you carried, and did you have a net profit or a net loss? Meaning, did you make money after paying all your bills, or did you lose money after paying all your bills? The reason this is so important, because a lot of you need to understand, as you start making money in a business, you will have a tax problem. Now, you need to always think about, how do I offset how much taxes I have to pay? The goal is not to pay the government anything. It doesn't work like that. You will pay them something. Trust me. But the goal is to understand that there is tax benefits that you carry as a corporation, as a tax company, as an LLC company, a corporation, that could benefit you. But a lot of you don't take time to go sit with a tax professional or go sit with an accountant. You just jump into business, not realizing, people, these two individuals are very valuable to your growth of your business. Because when it's time to get a loan, you also need your tax professional and your accountant to be able to assist you to expanding and probably leveraging your sales to get a loan. A lot of people just want to make money. Making money at a certain point, I'm telling you, it's the easy part. The problem is, how do you keep it? The problem is, how do you reduce how much taxes you pay? And you can only do that by hiring professionals to give you guidance, such as accountants and tax professionals. Sometimes they work hand in hand, or sometimes the tax professional is the accountant to give you knowledge. I always recommend people, if you're starting a business, as you write your business plan down on your notepad, or you create a whole business plan, whatever the case may be, you got your mission statement, vision statement, all that good stuff. What's important is you got your cooperating agreement. If you got a partner, whatever the case may be, people, it's important you sit down with a tax professional. Go sit down with a person who understands business taxes to give you some structure on how to structure your corporation. For a lot of you, what is a corporation? Is just an entity that separates you from, of course, the establishment that you're running. Usually when you have an LLC, hypothetically what we call an S Corp, there's an LLC C Corp, but a lot of people usually do the S Corp. Usually when you have an LLC S Corp, you are, in a weird way, you are not the owner of the company. You are the managing member of that corporation. A lot of us don't understand when you're starting to make more money in life. If you have a corporation, if you have a business, you're going to need that to, of course, reduce some of the tax burdens you have at the end of the year. As you grow a company, you need to understand how to save money. And one of the great ways of saving money is learning how to reduce your tax burden at the end of the year. See, myself paying anywhere from $60,000 to $120,000 worth of taxes a year, I had to learn this real quick, because years ago, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Let's say about a decade ago. And I was just paying $100,000, $130,000 in taxes. I had to learn there's a game, there's an art to this. There's write-offs, there's business write-off, business expenses. And the only person that can really teach you that is either an accountant, preferably a tax professional, to tell you where can you benefit when it comes to reducing your tax burden. I'm not here to tell you, of course, this is not financial advice. This is educational information, people. So we're talking 9 different ways tonight to tell you guys how to save money when you start a business, or if you're running a business. Because at the end of the day, as you grow your entity, as you grow your business, you will have a tax burden. And I'm a prime example. I have a lot of different businesses. And again, I trade stocks. I mean, stocks alone, I think last year I posted in IG, I don't know, maybe like 400,000 I made there. But you could imagine all that compiles on top of each other, on top of my income of other businesses that I do. And on top of that, real estate that I own. And at the end of the day, I have a big tax bill. But if you know the importance of a tax professional and understand the value of having an accountant, you will be okay, because these people are very important to building a business. Now, as you get stronger and stronger, we're not going to talk about that tonight. As you expand the business and you're really growing much stronger, you're not only going to need an accountant, you're not only going to need a tax professional, but you're also going to need an attorney. People, at the end of the day, you will understand real soon, as you start growing further and further and doing bigger business, you will need 3 people: an accountant, a tax preparer, a tax professional, and an attorney. Because trust me, lawsuits do come. And you got to be ready for lawsuits. If you do not want to understand that, you will learn the hard way when you start growing your business. These are 3 important people you need to save you money and build your business when you have a growing business: a tax professional, an accountant, and of course, an attorney. I thought I'd share that because a lot of us go into this world starting businesses. Nobody tells you to sit down with a tax professional, or nobody tells you the difference between a tax professional, which is the person who prepares your taxes, compared to the person who's doing the books of your taxes. Because as you're doing business, you're going to have a lot of transactions running through your business account. You need somebody to help you do your books. The most common software that a lot of people use on a beginner level, of course, is QuickBooks. It works great even on an intermediate level. It's a great software to use. It's called QuickBooks. Now, number 3, we spoke about this. People, at the end of the day, you're starting a business or you have a business. If you already have a business, you should already know this. You need to have a corporation. Because at the end of the day, you want to protect yourself from liabilities and you want to reduce tax burdens that you will have at the end of the year. If you are a profitable business, you will no longer get tax returns, people. This is majority of the time. There is exceptions where some people know certain loopholes that will get them a refund on a profitable business, but that is not common. Usually, if you have a profitable business, you owe taxes. No more tax refunds. You are not getting money back. I thought I'd share that because a lot of people have this misperception that as you make more money, as you're making, hypothetically, you're making 100,000 a year, then you go to 200,000 a year, then you go to 500,000 a year, then you go to 1 million a year. People, you don't get a tax return anymore. So for a lot of you that love these tax returns, it's done when you get to a certain amount of money. That's it. You don't get tax returns. I stopped getting tax returns when I was 19 years old. I stopped getting tax returns. People, at the end of the day, as you expand, if you're trying to get yourself to that next level, if you're trying to get to the level of freedom, as you make more money, you will no longer get a tax return. Your tax preparer's job will be to reduce how much you owe to the government legally by having, of course, maybe corporations, by, of course, benefiting off of the tax laws that exist and the tax exemptions that exist and the tax expenses that you could, of course, legally write off. These are the things you have to understand as you're expanding or starting a business. You will have a tax burden at the end of the year. Now, I get it. There's always a confusion while I stay on that number 3. We talked about an accountant. We talked about the importance of having a tax preparer, a tax professional. I explained to you guys the difference. We're now going to talk about, of course, an LLC, limited liability corporation. 95% of individuals who form corporations or start businesses, they usually form an LLC. Now, there's 2 different types, as I spoke about earlier. There's a C Corp and there's an S Corp. I usually prefer to, of course, when it's my business, to form an LLC S Corp. There's a lot more tax advantages when you have an S Corp LLC. For a lot of you, I thought I'd share this live because I want to really give you guys some knowledge. I sit down with a lot of people on a daily basis. And one of the things I see a lot, when you ask a person what type of corporation you have, a lot of people don't know how to answer that question. When you ask, hey, what type of business you have? What type of structure is it? What type of corporation is it? I have a corporation. Okay. I get that you have a corporation. Can you clarify what type of corporation is it? I just got a corporation. Okay. People, in the world of business, in the world of corporations, there is what we call LLPs, limited liability partnerships. There is LLCs, limited liability corporations. There's 2 different types. There's an LLC C Corp. There's an LLC S Corp. There's partnerships. There's being incorporated, INC. When a person asks you a question as an entrepreneur, what type of corporation do you have? You should be able to say, I have a blank corporation. The answer cannot be, I have a corporation. And this is very common. That shows me a lot of people don't understand, 1, taxes, 2, corporate structures, 3, they don't have an accountant. Just off that answer, I could tell that certain individuals don't have an accountant, don't understand taxes, and don't understand tax structure. If an individual asks you, what type of corporation do you have? You cannot answer back with, I have a corporation. That makes no sense. What type of corporation do you have? A proper way of answering that question based on the type of corporation you have is to say, I have an LLC S Corp, or I have a LLC C Corp, or I have an LLP, or I'm a partnership corporation, or I am incorporated, meaning I'm an INC. I thought I'd share that because a lot of people do not understand there's a lot of differences based on what type of corporation you have. I thought I'd share that. Number 4, if you're trying to save money when you're expanding your business, for a lot of you upcoming entrepreneurs or individuals that's in entrepreneurship, it's important to expand and elevate your leverage. Meaning this, before you even get into business, I usually tell people, make sure your credit score, your personal credit score is good. Make sure you have maybe 2 or 3 credit cards, and I'm going to tell you why. Shout out to Brutus, what's popping, baby. Nabil, what's going on? A lot of people don't understand. Jody, what's going on? A lot of people don't understand. When you are building a business, think of it like this. Your tool belt is your credit cards, your savings, the relationships, your banker, your tax professional, the person who prepares your taxes, your accountant, your attorney. These are your tools around your tool belt. A lot of you don't think about these tools when you're starting business. You're so hungry to go in business, you don't ever think about the tools. This is why I say I'm having this live tonight to teach you guys 9 ways on saving money when you're starting or continuously expanding a business. Nobody talks about these things. Do you have an accountant? Do you have a great tax professional that understands business and personal taxes? Did you form an LLC? Which type of LLC? As you guys know earlier, I just spoke, there's numerous types, but the most common type of LLC people form is an LLC S Corp. Now, some of you only know that the fact that you heard the fact I have a corporation. People, a corporation, what type of corporation? You need to be specific when a person asks you, what type of corporation do you have? You cannot say I have a corporation if they ask you what type of corporation. Is it an LLC? Is it an S Corp LLC? Is it a C Corp LLC? Is it an LLP? Is it an INC? These are important. I'm just giving you guys some educational information so you don't go into public looking ignorant in front of other people. Okay, so when people ask you a question, you could professionally, with your chest out, answer the question. I'm an LLC S Corp, actually. My entity is actually an LLC S Corp. Great question. Next, the reason I'm talking about the importance of having good credit as one of the ways to save money. Every time people start businesses, all they're thinking about is, I want to make money, I want to make money, I want to make money. But nobody talks about the importance of raising your credit limits on your credit cards. And I'm going to tell you why. Usually, rule of thumb is to have 3 credit lines or 3 credit cards, whatever the case may be. The reason I always tell people raise their credit limits as they go into business, if you have $5,000 on it, go to 20. If you have 20,000, go to 60. If you have 60, go to $100,000 on that credit card. Yes, there is a lot of companies that will give you 100, 120,000. You guys have seen me post numerous times on my, of course, IG with credit. I have credit limits with Bank of America, $150, $300, $1,000. It is true. These companies do give you high credit limits if you request it. A lot of us, we are grown adults, which is so crazy to me. I will meet a lot of grown adults who have credit limits of $5,000 at 35, 40 years of age, which is crazy to me. At the end of the day, if something goes wrong and you're running your business, and the reason I'm telling you guys this, I've been through when I was younger. Nobody taught me this. I want you guys to get better and get smarter. When I was younger running business, nobody told me the importance of having proper credit. Nobody told me the importance of having credit cards with higher limits. Because at the end of the day, if you have a credit card with $10,000 on it, the rule of thumb is never to use more than what? 30%. That's the rule of thumb you hear a lot. Which 30% of a $10,000 credit card is what? $3,000. But what a lot of you don't understand is, why don't you increase your card to $60,000? $60,000 or $50,000 or $100,000, which you can get there. I have credit cards that have $100,000 on them. When you get to $100,000, or even let's go with $50,000. What's 30% of $50,000? That's $15,000. Do you know when you increase your credit limits, your score goes up, right? Because your utilization rate goes down. How much you're utilizing naturally goes down because your credit limit went up. So what sometimes people are paying people for credit repair, which is so crazy to me, all you have to do on some of your credit cards sometimes is increase the credit limit. Because now your utilization rate, how much you're utilizing now, goes down. Because if you had a credit card with $10,000, 30% is what? $3,000. But if you have a credit card with $40,000, 30% is $12,000. Meaning you now could use up to $12,000 and you're still at 30% or below. People, this is basic gems that a lot of grown adults that book me, I'm telling you, I've held classes on money management, financial literacy, credit. I don't do credit repair, people. I'm not here to sell you credit repair. I don't do the whole baloney foolishness of credit repair, okay? I teach you guys how to do things on your own. I teach you guys how to mentally understand how to win financially. One of the things I've realized is that the world does not teach people the importance of having high credit limits. People, look at it like this. Imagine you're running a business, okay? And I don't know, you have a trucking business. Shouts out to Tanky. And I'm gonna use a trucking business as an example. Hypothetically, you bought a truck for $100,000. You financed it, whatever the case may be. I don't know. Engine goes out 3 years later on the truck. For the engine is $25,000. Hypothetically, for some strange reason, you don't have $25,000 in your bank account. Wouldn't it be smart to have a credit card that has $100,000 or $50,000, which lets you use $25,000 so you could continuously grow your business? Yes, you're going to get billed for the $25,000. They're going to prorate it and give you a bill, but at least you're able to move forward, get your truck back on the road and do what you got to do. But here's where I'm having a problem when I meet grown adults, 30 years of age, 40 years of age, 50 years of age, still have $2,000 credit limit credit cards, $3,000 credit limit credit cards. People, I had $20,000 credit limit credit cards when I was 21. I'm 35. The minimum my credit cards have on it, minimum, is $60,000. Minimum. Every credit card, minimum. The highest, maybe $300,000. At the end of the day, people, you got to understand the importance of increasing your credit limits. Life is never easy. And sometimes things happen. You need to be able to have, again, your credit is your tool belt. Your accountant that I tell you guys that you need is a part of your tool belt. Your tax professional is like a part of your tool belt. A lot of you need to understand working on your business and growing your business, you need to have a good, strong tool belt around you. And that tool belt is not just money or making money at the business. It's understanding how taxes work, because you will have a tax problem because you're making a lot of money. How accounting work, because you need somebody to do your books. What type of corporation you have makes a difference to how much taxes you save. So having a proper accountant that gave you a proper education on understanding what type of tax professional you need to use to prepare your corporation makes a difference. Everything works hand in hand. Having high credit limits on your personal credit cards or your business credit cards is healthy as long as you can mentally control yourself, people. Because I know some of you, if you had 50 or 80 or $100,000 on a credit card, you would probably go crazy going to Gucci, Louis store and buying all types of things you don't need. I'm not telling you to go increase your credit card limits to go blow at the name brand stores. I'm telling you to increase your credit card limits so when things go rough in your business, there will be downtime. There will be rough days. You don't have to go calling. You don't have to call anybody. You could just go leverage one of your credit cards, and of course, they're going to bill you and going to move forward. Tonight, we're talking about 9 different ways to saving you money when you're starting a business or if you already have a business. And this is coming from an individual. I've had a lot of different businesses, from a tow truck business, a car dealership, a vending machine company, a tax business, a real estate, commercial. I've done a lot of businesses, a clothing store. I've done a lot of different businesses. At the end of the day, people, I've learned that no matter what business you have, these 9 things I'm talking about is so important. Now let's talk about this. Number 5, before you start a business, I always tell entrepreneurs or upcoming entrepreneurs, go sit down with somebody that's in your industry. Go get a mentor. See, a lot of you just want to start because you're so excited. I'm so ready to start. But have you thought about sitting down with somebody that have done your business or that's currently in your business to give you guidance? And the reason I'm saying this because I meet people that have been in business for 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, and they're still not profitable. That could mean a lot of things. Obviously, you're either selling products that people don't have, that there's not a demand for. Obviously, if it's a service industry, you're not scalable enough, meaning you are not getting to enough clients. So you need to get a partner. You need to get help. And that's a problem where a lot of owners like to have as they're growing their business. They're so scared to hire help. They'll rather try to do everything themselves, which is crazy to me at a certain point. I have 2 secretaries, people. Okay? 2 secretaries. It's important to understand how important it is to pay people so you can have more free time to build your business. You need help at a certain part of your business. If you're starting a business, I always tell people, whatever business you're starting, go find somebody who have done the business. Ask them questions. What was the mistakes they had? Don't ask how much money they made. That's not the most important. That is an important question, but that's not the most important question. I like to learn from people's mistakes. So it's always important to understand what mistakes did that person make, because those mistakes could help you grow long-term, people. When you're trying to grow, when you're trying to start a business, learn from other people's mistakes. It's not always about how much money you made. What mistakes did the individual make? Because that's more valuable than just understanding that that person made money. Because just because they made money, that doesn't mean you're going to make money, people. A lot of us have this mindset. That person made a whole bunch of money. That person made a whole bunch of millions. But at the end of the day, yes, Tanky is saying it right. Knowledge is key, people. Research your industry. Research the business that you're trying to get into so you could save money before you go make a whole bunch of mistakes that you didn't need to make if you would have simply asked for help. If you would have simply listened to somebody who have done your business before. A lot of the things that I see people doing is you're not reinventing the wheel. I haven't met an Elon Musk yet, a person that created the first electrical car that was a successful multi-billion, actually almost $1 trillion company. I haven't seen that yet, people. I haven't met those creative innovators. I haven't met a Tim Cook, a Steve Jobs. A lot of the things you're doing, somebody else has done it. You're not the first person to do it. So why don't you ask somebody for help? Ask them for their services. Pay them for their time if you need. Hey, look, can I borrow 2 hours of your time so you can probably give me some gems on some of the things that you could say went wrong while you were growing? There's nothing wrong with that. Imagine you writing notes down that saved you $100,000 within the first 2-3 years of mistakes that you would have made if you didn't sit down with this person. I would also say this. I think this is so important. A lot of people don't understand this. I'm giving you guys, this is like gems I'm dropping right now for you. If you're going to start a service industry, selling a product, you need to go get something called a resale license. What that does, it's a free license after you have your corporation, after you figure out where you're going to be doing your business, if it's from home or whatever the case may be. You need to go apply for a resale certificate. What that does is saves you on sales tax, and it also saves you on wholesale buying. A lot of you don't understand, as you're an entrepreneur, you save a lot of money because you're buying in bulk. Whatever products you're selling, if you're a product business. But you could only save those dollars and save on, you don't pay taxes when you're a business owner, especially if you have what we call a product business and you have what we call a resale license. There is some people that don't know what a resale license is. A resale license is a certificate that you get based on the city that you're located. There's a resale certificate in Fort Lauderdale. It's in Coral Springs. And you get it for free. And what it does is it saves you on sales tax for anything that you're buying wholesale that you're about to retail. And it also saves you on quantity prices, because when you're buying larger quantity, a lot of sellers or wholesalers will give you a way better price because of your resale license, and you don't pay sales tax. I thought I'd share that because a lot of people don't know. Now, the next thing I want to share to you, which I would say number 8, sorry. I made this mistake, okay? This is what I'm giving you right here. I made this mistake that I'm giving you right here. Shout out to Shelly. What's going on, man? If you're going to, we're in a world right now, a great way to save money is going online. Every business does not have to be brick and mortar, meaning you do not have to go rent a space to make a lot of money nowadays. Some of you don't realize you have a business that doesn't require the location that you have it in. Some of you don't realize that the business you have doesn't even require a space. A lot of you don't understand. You don't have to go brick and mortar with your business, meaning go rent a 5-year lease, 5-year, 4-year, 6-year lease. People, some of your business could just simply be an online business. Some of your businesses you could actually do virtually, people. You could have a full e-commerce business based on what type of business you have. Now, what I'm about to say next is so important if you are going to do brick and mortar. And this is something I did wrong. I know a lot of people have made this mistake. I wish somebody would have told me, okay? if you're going to do brick and mortar, meaning you're going to go sign a lease to rent somewhere, don't sign the longest lease. Sign the shortest lease they have, even if they charge you more. Hear me again. If they told you to sign a 4-year lease, 5-year lease, 6-year lease, I did this when I had one of my dealerships. Go tell them, can I do a 1-year lease? They'll tell, well, hypothetically, rent is $2,500. If you do 1 year, we're going to charge you $2,700. I'll pay the $2,700. Because in 12 months, I can leave. People, a lot of us are not understanding this, people. When you go to a plaza and rent somewhere to conduct business, to start your business, landlords are not on the same side as you think they are. They're here to lock you in the longest lease they can. You have to be smart enough to understand things happen. And a perfect example is COVID, people. It's better you test your business out, do a short-term lease, 1 year, even if you could do month to month, just to feel the business that you just started, to see where it's going, to see how the client base is coming, to see how the money is coming in, before you jump in and go do a 5-year lease with a plaza or some type of structure. The reason I'm saying this, sometimes as a business owner, this is your first business, you're excited. You're so excited to start business, and you meet individuals tell you, look, you meet the landlord of the plaza that you're about to rent, and they say, look, you know, if I were you, let's have you sign a 4-year lease, a 3-year lease, a 5-year lease. You have to be smart enough to understand the landlord is not on your side. Remember that. They're here to lock you in to make sure their cash flow of their plaza makes sense. Because everything commercial is about what we call cap rates. How much return on investment are you making? While you're looking at it as, this guy's trying to give me a deal, or this lady's trying to give me a deal by locking me in for 5 years. No, he or she is not. They're locking you in to make sure they're guaranteed their cash flow. What you have to do is, if I wish somebody would have taught me this, because I almost paid the price for it, which I didn't. I ended up just losing my security. I lost $4,000. I was like, you know what? It's all good, because if I would have kept paying that lease I think I had 2 or 3 more years left, I would have lost at least another $40,000. So I ended up losing $4,000 instead of $40. Called it quits. I was able to get out the lease with no problems. Now I teach people from that experience I had in the past of my life, do not sign long leases. 1 year, maximum. And when I say maximum, if you just starting the business and you just want to fill it out to see where your business is about to go, do maybe a 2-year lease. Nothing more than that. Nothing. I prefer a 1 year, month to month. But a lot of companies are not going to do that, so a 2-year lease is fine. Tonight you've learned 9 different ways on how to save money if you're an upcoming entrepreneur or if you're an entrepreneur and you're expanding. 1, you need a good accountant. Get an accountant to give you education on how those books work. 2, get a tax professional, because at the end of the day, as you start making money, you need somebody to save you money on taxes. 3, always form an LLC. Preferably, in my world, I always form what we call an LLC S Corp. There's 2 different types, a C and a S. S Corp. 4, always increase your credit limits when you're starting business, because you never know when you're going to have hard times. And when you have credit cards that you personally carry that have 30, 40, 50,000, you could always use 30%. You could always use maybe 50% because times got rough, compared to having to go borrow or going to a bank and they're hitting you with a ridiculous interest rate anyway. At least you get the money right now. You can just simply swipe and solve your problem for temporary. I always tell people, if you're starting business, make sure you have good credit and increase your credit limit. Shout out to Shelly. Thank you, baby. Number 5. If you're going into a business, learn from somebody that's in your industry. Go find somebody who is doing what you're about to do, AKA maybe a mentor. That would be nice too. Go find somebody that's doing what you're about to do or that already have done it. Even if they failed or made money, just go sit down and listen to what they got to say. And I usually tell people, go listen to their mistakes so you don't do the same mistakes. Because the mistakes are going to save you a lot of money. Number 6 is a mentor. People, as you guys know, I'm always educating people. I'm always giving you guys gems. I've been doing business since I was, 14, selling candy and CDs in school. And, those days there, then things growing. Small dealership, tax business, oh my God, towing truck, vending machine company. I was doing vending machines when I was 35, when I was 19, 18, my God. Clothing store. One time I wanted to buy a garbage truck. People, I'd be thinking, trying to make some money. I'm telling you. I one time was going to buy a waste management garbage truck and start trying to pick up garbage in a different city. I don't even think my sister knew about that. But then when I seen how much that truck, a waste management truck costs, whew, that truck was like $90,000 for like a 1995 truck. People, I'm talking picking up garbage bins. Y'all don't know how lucrative that business is. Y'all just don't know how lucrative, but they're not going to let you in like that. Yeah, I needed more trucks to do what I was going to do. People, there's so many ways to make money. But as you're growing in life, it's not just about making money, especially when you're doing business. It's about how do you save money? And that's the goal. Because as you start making money, you're going to have a tax problem. That's why you need a tax professional. That's why you need an accountant. As you start making money, you need to have self-discipline. Because at the end of the day, people, you need to hire help. You can't do everything yourself as you're expanding your business. As you start making money and you're getting real big, I'm just hypothetically say like Apple and Home Depot, people, things happen, people get big. You're going to need attorneys. Because people will be suing your ass all day. At the end of the day, people, I want you to understand. The goal of life is to be great. The goal of life is to constantly build wealth. And the goal of life is to always try to save some money while you're growing. This is your boy Bobby from Mentourme.com. Does anybody have any questions before I get off this live? Shouts out to IG, shouts out to Facebook. Appreciate all the support. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight after I stole 1 hour of your time and having you guys listen to me educate you on 9 different ways to save money if you're starting to become an entrepreneur, starting a service or a product business. This is after 15 to 20 years of me doing business. These are the top 9 things that I feel is so important that people don't talk about. It's not just about making money. It's about understanding how to save money as you're growing your business. I have a question. Yeah, if you're going to apply for, one of the questions is, how do you apply for an S corporation? In Florida, because every state is different. In Florida, we have a public database called Sunbiz, .org or .gov, whatever. And once you form your corporation, which is pretty simple, you need to go to IRS and you need to get 2 things. You need to download a form called a 2553, which is an election form. Which without this form, you cannot become an S corporation. It's called a 2553. Okay, on irs.gov. It's a free form. You have to fill out the first 2 pages. And you also need to go to irs.gov and get a free, what we call EIN number, employee identification number. An EIN number is kind of like the social security number of your corporation after you have formed a corporation on Sunbiz. Great question, because a lot of people, what they normally do is just form a corporation, but they never do the election form. And if you don't do the election form within 90 days of forming your corporation, it's not saying that you can't get the S corporation. Now you have to follow up with a letter explaining why didn't you do it in 90 days. So that's why I always tell people, again, life is all about learning from other people so you can continuously grow. Anybody got any other questions before I get off this live? Shouts out to everybody that's supporting the movement, everybody on my IG. Make sure you guys go to my YouTube channel, support my YouTube channel, click subscribe. I got a lot of great content. Go enjoy. I love you all. Shouts out to everybody that's in my DMs. Calling me, people booking shows, booking sessions. Appreciate you. If you haven't booked a session, feel free to get on Mentourme.com. You can always book an hour session or 2-hour session with your boy Bobby from Mentor Me. I hope you guys enjoyed these free gems. Go educate yourself. Go win. All love, Stephanie. Keep doing you. People, I love you. May God bless.